We're going. Okay, so we are doing 5.1 today, starting a new chapter. The title is Solving Inequalities Using Addition and Subtraction. So solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. Might even be able to make it through without even using a calculator on most of it. No fractions, basic math solving. Okay. Might even get the candy out. Jacoby's like, candy? Huh? Huh? I think I got grape. You're never awake for candy time. Okay, so do you remember this guy right here? That symbol, it looks like a V sideways. It's called the inequality. Yeah, you guys used to call him alligator mouths in middle school. Do you remember what his name is? This specific symbol. Anybody? Matthew. Yes, we call this one because we read them left to right, because this one, the big side is on the left. It's called greater than, which means the left side is greater than the right side because the open side is bigger than the small pointy side. So if I flip it, right underneath it, I'm going to draw the same thing, but I'm going to have the pointy side on the left and the open side on the right. This one is called less than. I'm writing them in this specific way for a reason. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to write my greater than one with the bigger side opening the left. Then I'm going to put a straight line underneath it. If this one means greater than, what do you think that one means? Gunnar, you remember? Yes, greater than or equal to. So then if I take the less than one and put a line underneath it, Hunter, can you take a guess of what this one's going to be? Yeah, take a guess. Yeah, less than or equal to. Okay, so what this means, if I have the statement x is greater than 3, that's an answer. That's how an answer is written. X is a variable, right? But it represents a number we don't know. So it says x is greater than 3, because left or right, that's the greater than symbol. So what's a number that's greater than 3? Anybody in this room? Gracie? Ethan? 5? 5,000, right? All bigger than 3, yes? Now if I change this and just draw the line underneath, what number can I also include, Matthew? 3, because the equal to line means that we can start there and say every number greater than it, or start there and say every number less than that. That's the only difference between just greater than and greater than or equal to, or just less than or less than or equal to. That little equal to line includes that number, okay? Just a little heads up. Now, when we do these, we're going to solve them. So we want to answer to look like this, and we're going to graph them. When we graph, write down graph. the greater than sign and, or right comma, either or, the less than sign both make or use a open circle on the graph. Because we do not include those numbers. So then the greater than or equal to sign and the less than or equal to sign, since they include those numbers, what kind of circle you think they're going to use? I filled in one. So the equal to ones have a closed circle because we're including that number. We're grabbing it with our hand. Think like an open hand versus a closed hand. Grabbing that number. And just the greater than or just the less than is an open hand because we're starting that number where we can't include it. Okay? We're also going to graph on a number line. So a number line looks like this. This is a number line. If you don't remember. The important part about a number line is whatever your answer number is, let's say this is our answer. What's our answer in this problem over here? What's the number answer? 3. Whatever your answer is, it always goes in the middle. And we always write the numbers underneath a line. I know I wrote that a little close. You know me, using this bit. But we have 2 other little dashes we need to write numbers for. Do you remember if a number is less than or greater than to the left or right? Do you remember which one's which on a number line? Think of the x-axis. My hands are now green. Matthew? Yes, smaller on the left. So what's a number smaller than 2? Mean 3. What's a number greater than 3? Yeah. Oop, Gunner. No, my phone's on silent. It's someone in front of me. Oopsie, check your phone. Guys, my phone is on silent. It's not me. I would admit it if it was me. It literally sounded like it came from right in front of me, didn't it? Jacoby, are you sure it's not you? Bella, was it you? It was him. It was 100% you. Turn it off, put it away before I come up there. I 100% knew it was you. Because Toops didn't flinch. I saw your ears move. Yep. Uh-huh. Heard these excuses before. Okay, so if we wanted to graph this guy right here as a practice, we have 3 in the middle. This inequality sign. What kind of circle are we going to use? An open one or a closed one? A closed one. When we use a closed one, we are going to draw it on the number line. Listen to me. On the line. Not above the line. On it. Don't look at me like that. Do not do above. I know you used to do it in middle school. Don't do it. You will lose points for it. Do not. Because it's not on the number line. It's supposed to be on a line, not above it. You're supposed to draw it where it belongs. So this is a closed dot. So right here, I always make it big enough so Josiah can see without his inability to, because he squints all the time. So look at that. Look at that big old circle. Then we look at the inequalities. X is less than. Don't worry about the inequality. This guy right here, if he was an arrow, think about an arrow. Which way is he pointing towards? To the right, right? Jacoby went like this with his hand. So we're going to go like this. But look, if I draw a straight line on a straight line, can you see that? No. So I would draw a wiggly line so Mr. Ronaldo can see it and then put an arrow at the end. So if you draw a straight line on top of a straight line, no one's going to be able to see that. So draw a zigzag line, a wiggly line, something so we can see it. And again, draw it on top. You see how it covers both sides of the line? That's on top of the line. Yep, it's all over. It covers the whole thing. That's what we want. Last thing is your answer should always have the variable on the left side. If the variable is not on the left side, we can't do that arrow thing to draw a graph. So you need to write, the most important thing is we have to have the variable on the left side. See how this X is on the left? We have to have it there. Because if not, we cannot use the inequality to graph our lines. Then we would just mess up all the time. And we don't want to do that. So let's do an example. Okay. We're going to use our bell ringer problem. We're just going to turn it into an inequality. So X plus 3 is greater than 10. Right? So just like before, how do we get X by itself? Yep, subtract 3 from both sides. The 3's cancel out. You have X, keep your sign, is greater than 10 minus 3 is still 7. Before we move on to graphing, is my variable on the left side? Do we all see that? If your variable's on the left side, you cannot move on to the graphing. Instructions literally say solve, then graph. If you can't solve and get on left, you cannot move on to graphing. Now to graph. Draw your number line. You're always going to have 3 numbers. Tubes, where does my 7 have to go? In the middle. What are 2 other numbers, Joy, that I'm going to use on my number line? 6 and 8. Where am I going to put the 6? Correct. Hunter, open or closed circle for this inequality. Look at the inequality sign. I just boxed it. He said close. Look at this sign. That's why I asked him again, because he said an answer that was wrong. Open. So on 7, I'm going to draw an open circle. Can you see, even with your visual impairments over there, can we all see that that's an open circle because it's a big circle? If you draw a circle small like this with a line through it, you can't tell that it's open, especially at quick glance. That's why we make the circles big. Now, Jacoby. Which way is my arrow going to go? To the right. Wiggle past and put an arrow. How do we feel about that? Pretty easy? Yeah. Okay. Another one? How about this one? 22 is greater than m minus 8. Oh, man. Come on. I was just about to touch it too. No, it's on back. Yep. What are we going to do to get m by itself, Gracie? Yep, add 8 to both sides. Just a one-step equation. It's real nice. The 8's cancel out. I keep my m. I keep my sign. What is 22 plus 8, Crystal? 30. What's that question we ask ourselves before we move on to graphing? Is the variable on the left side? No. No. You flip everything. So like it's here, right? You're going to literally flip everything. Flip it over. So the M is going to go over here. The 30 is going to go over here. We also have to flip the point sign. So I'm going to put M over here. 30 over here. How I remember it, the sign, because the side's where everyone messes up. Where was it pointing towards? Who was the arrow pointing at beforehand, the M or the 30? You have to make sure it stays pointing at the same thing. See how it's pointing the opposite way now? Hello. Yes, I do. Okay, dokie. Bye. Crystal office. Now that M is on the left side, we can graph it. Three tallies. Always put the number we have on the inside. Gage, what other two numbers am I going to use? Okay, 2931. I like it. Keep it easy. Bella, open or close circle? Open. Austin, which way is my arrow going to go? Look at the final answer right here. Yep, to the left. So if you forget to flip the sign or mess it up, the only part you'll mess up, which you'll lose some points for, is the arrow. You will mess up the arrow. Does the flipping part make sense? So switch everything. I always look at this and go, where is he pointing at? Keep him pointing there. That's how I remember it. It's like if I could literally pick him up and you could see through it and you just flip the page. All right? Okay, let's try one more. And then we can get to do practice board problem. Look, I haven't even used a whole board. I told you, I was not lying. What is different about this problem right here? 3a plus 6 is greater than or equal to 4a. Huh? So Ethan answered my question. He said there's multiple variables. There's variables everywhere, right? There's A's over here and A's over here. Hunter answered my next question. We're going to have to put them together, right? There are A's on both sides. Which one do we move? How did you decide that? Yes, that is actually the correct answer. Normally, you usually think move the smaller one, right? You normally think always move the smaller one. That doesn't always work. I always move the one that has something else with it. That is actually technically correct. It also worked right now, just move the smallest one. So we are going to move the 3A because he has something on this side with him, and we want to move all our A's to one side. So this 3A, to move him to the other side, what are we going to do? What operation? Joy, what do you think? 3A, is it positive or negative right now? Huh? Subtract it, yep, because it's positive. 3A. When you subtract 3A, make sure you put the A with it. So minus 3A, minus 3 A's. So 3 A's, take away 3 A's, that's none of them. We have 6 here. If I have 4 apples, A for apple, and I take away 3 apples, how many I got left? I got 1A or 1 apple. Do you really need the 1 there? For sure not. You don't have to. Could I keep it there if I wanted to? Yeah. But is A by itself, since there's only one of them? Is he alone? So is my answer done? No, why not? I have to flip it. Okay. Show that I'm doing it. I'm going to write it over here. A, pointing towards my A with the equal sign and the 6. My answer, I didn't put the 1. I didn't feel like it. See how I switched the A and the 6, and I kept my sign pointing towards my A. Now can we graph it? Gage is nodding his head at me. Bella confirmed vocally. We're ready to go. Again, where does 6 go? In the middle. Ethan, what's 2 numbers that go around 6? There you go. Open or close circle, Ethan. Which way is my arrow going? Katie! To the left. I'm more impressed some of you can do your lefts and right, because most of the time for years past it's just we don't know our lefts and our rights. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't think so, because you just go with whatever hand you write with. Usually you're right-handed, right? You're just the opposite, you're left. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't understand. Good luck with that. Okay. Does this make sense to the point where you're ready to come to the board? Do some practice problems. Okay.